5th Sunday of Christmas, my demo shared with me a Matchbox box. So if you're a youngin', you don't know what a Matchbox is, probably. But there's these things called matches. They came way before butane lighters. And so to light your fires with in your wood stove, you would open the box, take out a match and strike it, lighting the match, and then you could light the fire. We don't need to do that anymore. So you know what these things can hold? Candy, yummy chocolate, other goodies. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to make this from our sweet candy canes suite. Let's see how to do it. To create the box, we're going to bring in our Simply Scored tool and stylus and a piece of real red cardstock that measures 4.5 by 7. And on each side, we're going to score at 1.25. And that's because that's the thickness of our box, or the height of our box, depending on how you're measuring. It's how deep it is. Now, if you run off because your stylus is maybe a little bit dry, first of all, you can make it better if you rub it on your skin, you know, your face, your neck. Someplace it's going to pick up a little bit of your natural body oils. But if you go off and you can see it on the other side, now this isn't going to really matter because it's a tab. But if I wanted to get rid of that little bit of a score line there, I would just brush it from the back side and it would disappear. So we're going to continue scoring at 1.25 on all sides. Now that we've got that done, we need to do some simple cutting. We're going to cut on the long edges just up to the first score line. And then with this little tab, you probably saw it coming because I do this all the time. You want to miter your edges. So you just go right up to that score line and you're cutting out a little triangle. You're doing this on all 4 corners. Cut up to the score line and then miter. And I will put this template on my blog. In fact, I already have it done. So you can see you will be folding on the dotted lines and you're cutting off on the solid and scribbled in lines. We'll go ahead and we will burnish on all those fold lines. This just gives us a nice, crisp, squared up box. Then we need to just fold in our tabs and adhere. And you can use sticky strip, well, it's not sticky strip anymore, tear and tape. I've been a demonstrator a very long time. Things have been called lots of different things. I apologize if you hear a cat meowing. Crash is being a little annoying. I guess he's a little jealous that I'm not paying attention to him. Crash hasn't been in a video in quite a while. Do I dare adhere the glue both and then form the box? I guess I do dare because I did it. All right. And it doesn't take long for this glue to set up at all. Takes no time for the tear and tape to set up. This takes a little bit longer for the glue. And there we have our box. We're going to bring in a piece of the Sweetest Christmas Designer Series paper and our paper trimmer. That Sweetest Christmas paper goes as part of that Candy Canes suite, and it's got some really great colors, Pool Party and Garden Green and Real Red and Sweet Sorbet, I believe, is what it coordinates with. But what's really great about this suite of products is, see this candy cane die? It will cut out this candy cane stamp that's in the stamp set, and it also will cut out the candy cane on here. Now there's two candy cane dies because the candy canes face two different directions, but look at all the candy canes you can get out of one of these sheets of DSP. It's fantastic. I like the other side as well, but man, you can get a lot of candy canes out of here if you don't want to stamp them all. Or if you just like the look of the multicolored candy canes, because you can't get the red and the green on here. It's one color. All right, so as I mentioned, we're going to bring this in, and now our box is 4.5 inches tall. So we need something that we know will extend a little bit past the box so that none of the box shows on the ends. So 4.5, you can go either 1 tick mark or 2 tick marks. I think I'm gonna go with 4 and 5/8, just because sometimes your box bows a little bit, especially depending on what you have in it. So you want to give it a little extra room. And then we need it to be 7.5 inches long. You can make it a little bit longer if you want to, but 7.5 will do it. You don't really want to go much less than 7.5. This is going to wrap around our box. I like to start with the closed part of the box on top because that will allow me, that gives me a better surface to do what I'm about to do next. I want to make this sure this is straight on here, and I'm going to crease these sides because I'm wrapping this around the box. I don't want it to end up being really very tight on the box. Let's see, did you notice that I flipped over my box now? And I'm gonna bring it around and I'm gonna crease again. It doesn't have to be super tight in there. If it's too tight, you're not gonna be able to get the box to slide in and out. Now, when you are creasing it, you wanna make sure that the edges line up perfectly. And let's see, if I were to hold this here, could I get my box in and out? Yes, I could. So that's good. We're going to use some adhesive. I'm going to use the tear and tape, just to show you another kind of adhesive. We could have used this on our red box as well, on those flaps. What's nice about the tear and tape is, you saw, I just tore it with my fingers. Pull off the backing, and let's just wrap it around my box. Now this is the part that has the sticky, so that gets wrapped last. And you can see here, I think that the green is just sticking out a little bit on each end. I probably could have gotten away with only making it a 1/16 of an inch difference here. But see how I have that? And if you want to go ahead and you want to give it a nice press on those score lines, just make it a little bit crisper. And you can see that it just folds along those. And you can do this before or after. Oops, you want this on the front, on the top. You want your seam on the bottom. All right, so there is the basics of our box. You can see quite a bit of stuff will fit in here. Here's my green glue to give you an idea of the size. It's about a ½ inch taller than the green glue bottle, and it's probably 3/4 of an inch or so wider. So you could probably fit a couple of these in here actually. One going this way, one going this way. Or you can fit lots of chocolate in there. Well, let's do some decoration. I'm going to bring in my Real Red stamp pad. And let's see if this fits on here. It does. Make sure it's inked up really well. Now this is a distinctive stamp set, so there will be some variations in the color. That's totally natural. It's the way it is made to be. In fact, you can see on here that one edge is darker than the other edge. It's just the natural shading that they've put into it to give that rounded candy cane effect. Now we'll go ahead and die cut this. Actually, I want to stamp one more piece first, and that is this little sprig. And let's go ahead and put that in garden green because those are the two colors that are in use as far as the paper goes. I'm hoping I can get both dies on there. I wasn't thinking about that in advance. So we'll find the die that matches this. Looks like it's that one. I'm going to go ahead and hold that down with some washi tape. And then I'm going to take the other die that matches the sprig. One of my favorite dies in this set is this one right here. Creates a really cool background. And I'm not sure which way the sprig goes. Did I get the right one? I did. Oops, I didn't get that one. All right, so I'll just figure out now. See this little hole right here at the bottom? You should be able to see a little bit of garden green stem through there, and that's how you know that you've got it lined up well. I'm gonna go ahead and put these down with that again. And just fix this one that I hit. There we go. Bring in our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Plate 1, plate 2, plate 3. Ooh, that one's getting really warped. Try to put the flattest ones on the bottom. And after they've gotten a ton of use, it's gonna be time to break down and get some new ones. It's been many, many months. Probably before summer really hit since I replaced mine. So it's time. Just take this off carefully so we don't rip the paper. One piece. And there's the other piece right here. All right, so I've got that cut out. Let's go ahead. We're gonna put this on our box. I'm gonna bring in some of this Real Red ribbon. There's a package of Real Red and Garden Green, so 5 yards of each in the mini catalog where this suite is found. And it really ties pretty nicely. It's nice, supple ribbon. Let's see if I can get a nice bow here. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I don't trust myself with the glue. I'll bring in my Stampin' Seal. And this is just a regular Stampin' Seal. When I say I don't trust myself with the glue, I'm afraid that when I tuck this in, what's going to happen is it will stick and get gluey where I don't want it to, which is pretty much everywhere. So let's see, I can adjust the ribbon. There we go. I think I had the ribbon upside down before. Well, not necessarily upside down, but I think I like it better like this. So we will, let's see, because there's nothing underneath this box, probably have to push that down to get it to stick. Okay, now we need a tag. We need something that's going to allow us to give it to somebody. So let's see what we have for sentiments. Candy cane wishes and mistletoe kisses. That would work here because we've got, well, it's not really, well, maybe it's mistletoe. I don't really know what mistletoe looks like, so maybe it does. And then there's candy canes. That works good. Christmas cheer would work as well. Let's go ahead and get the candy cane and Christmas, whatever, mistletoe wishes. We'll need to stamp that on a scrap of white. And what color? Let's go ahead and do garden green. I know it's not straight, but that's okay. I'm gonna punch it out. I have a bunch of old punches. Like this is really old. Oh, that's 1 3/4. That's way too big. Here's a 1 1/2. Let's see how that works. Oh yeah, that'll work. You can also use your layering circles dies, lots of different things. We need to punch a hole. Now, if you don't have a hole punch, and you need to make a hole, you can use your take your pick tool and then just poke that in there and carefully keep going through. And so then you've got a nice little hole right there. I will bring in, let's see, we can bring in some of the baker's twine, or we could bring in the silver or gold trim. I think I'm going to stick with the white here. Let's just trim this. Just slide this under here. And see how this is just going to go? But I'm not going to put it over the bow. I'm going to put it underneath here, just to hide it just a little bit. I'm going to tie it in a knot and trim those ends off. I think my bow just turned upside down on me. I'm going to trim the ends a little bit here. All right. And there's my little box. If I wanted to add some embellishments, I could bring in some basic red rhinestones. Those are fun. Let's see. Where's my take your pick tool? I know I just used it. There we go. And we could put one right down at the bottom. If we wanted to get fancy, we could put an odd number, just like that. Just to decorate it however you want. 1, 3. We don't like 2 though. And there is your box. Will hold lots of yummy treats, or maybe some other treats. You can see here that there's a little bit of extra room down at the bottom. The top is coming right to the edge. And here, there's not much space. So that is your little slider box, matchbox box, whatever you want to call it. And that is the 5th Sunday of Christmas.